Well, hi guys, hope you're all well. Different little video today. I did say to you I was got an Aprillia 125 RS 125 on the way, and I've managed to get the engine back. And this was my boy's project. He bought the bike sort of dirt cheap off someone at work because it had seized up, and he thought he could just put a £200 piston and liner barrel, whatever you want to call it, back on there and it'll be as good as new. Well, if you're into your bikes, you know that this bike, well, I've been told by someone in the know who said it's like a hand grenade with the pin half pulled, which I think sort of sums the 100 mph 125 two-stroke up. So I said to my boy, well, I think it's going to be a bit more involved than actually just sticking a barrel and a piston on it and putting it back in a bike. Plus, it's had 17 owners. I think it's 20 years old, something like that. But he kind of sort of lost interest in it a bit. So I've kind of taken on the project. The engine was sent away and has been reconditioned. It's got a Matica barrel and piston on it. Rebuilt conrod, crankshaft, seals, bearings, the sort of thing you do. Then the bearings are on their last legs anyway, so I've been told they've got like a plastic cage. When they were built, they got a plastic cage in the bearings which kind of falls to bits, and then the bearings just disintegrate and it grenades the motor. So it was best getting them done. Also, it got plastic gears in it for the water pump and other bits and bobs. So it's all been given a going over. It cost me a lot of money. But anyway, my boys kind of lost interest, and it was sort of sitting in the shed, and I'd got the engine. So I said to him, well, bring it round and I'll have a go getting it back together again, because it'd be more and more money to have the engine put in, so I thought I'd have a go at doing it myself. So I painted the engine. I used high temperature paint, which wasn't a really good idea, because with that paint, as you know, you have to heat it up in the oven or get it really hot afterwards. So I couldn't do that, but it looks better than it was. So the problems I had was with the swinging arm and a few other, the bearings and everything are absolutely, horrendous. The needle rollers in the swinging arm were like I'll show you them here. Oops, not the camera. Let's see if I can get these in focus. Where are we? Now they're the bearings. Look, half of them are missing. Nothing there, look. And this is the shaft that it runs on. As you can see, absolutely rusted away. Now, everything on the bike is like this. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll take the camera off of here and try and have a walk around and see what we got. Now, just bear with me because I've not done this before. I'll do everything one-handed. Now, as you can see, now these are in all very poor condition. These ones are the swinging arm. They're like, oh no, that one's out of the rocker assembly, which is that. Now that attaches the shock absorber to the swinging arm and it goes to the frame. It's some sort of like linkage. These ones here, now these are the bushes, well not the actual bushes, these are the bearings here, and these are the parts that go in to the bearings. Now These go in a swinging arm. They're a press fit in a swinging arm. But if you can see the state of them, again, totally useless. I've got some new ones on order and I'm going to make them. I've ordered some silver steel. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this one here. Look, that one looks quite a new one, but all the others, they're like in a terrible state, so they've all got to be replaced. But I've got some silver steel and I'm going to make some new ones, and I'm going to heat treat them myself, and hopefully I can make the new sleeves, because the sleeves sort of, you know, you can't put new bearings in, roller bearings, and the sleeves, you know, they'd just be like, they'd wear out in 5 minutes. I mean, these rollers have not actually been turning round, they've just been spinning like on the shaft. You know, they've got flats on them where the shafts just, you know, they're not been revolving. They've just been sitting there and they're so dry, you know. But anyway, let's have a look around the bike. First of all, someone's made a lovely job of cutting that mudguard off, don't you think? Look at that. Perfect. Maybe he didn't draw a line on that. You know, I'm sure I can do something with that. There we have the ECU and the power valve assembly. I think that's ECU, and they call it a rev valve, which I've had fun and games with, cleaning up and everything. So here is that little engine. Now you can see it's got no carburettor on it. And there's a reason for that, because when I stripped it down, we found out that the carburettor was 28mm diameter and the intake was 32. So obviously there was a big air gap there, and no matter how much you tighten the Jubilee clip down, which they had done before, you know, it was still drawing air, and that's probably a reason why it seized up. And also on the top of the engine here, there should be an engine mount that goes sort of into and across there, and it comes up from there and it goes onto the side of the frame. There's a couple of holes in there. There's one, you can see it, there's 2 holes there, and on the other side there's a couple of holes there, and that's where it bolts onto. Well, that was completely missing, and the holes are all corroded, so I would imagine that it's never had one in there for years. So I've managed to get one off the bay and I've painted it up, and that's ready to go in there, but I'm leaving it open at the moment because I've ordered the air intake. No, it's on back ordered, so I don't know how long that's going to take to arrive, but hopefully not too long. If that doesn't sort of materialise, what I'm thinking of doing is making like a sleeve to go over the carburettor, and sort of, and so it fills it out to 32mm, and then I'll slip that onto the manifold, Jubilee clip it, and hopefully that might be okay, because the reed block inside, let's just have a look at that. Where are we? Oh dear, this, as usual, I'm not prepared. Now this is the intake in question. If I can find the carburettor. Oh, here we got it on my tools. So that is 28mm, and this is 32. So you can imagine the fit in it. I'll bring it over to the table and I'll show you. Now, I can do this thing one-handed. I've not done this before, but we'll try it. As you can see, that's how it was running. It has been running like that. To someone, I mean, it's hard to believe really, isn't it? But some people, when they lash things together, I mean, it's not the previous owner, it's probably like owners down the line who have done this to this bike, because, you know, I think this happens to these sort of bikes, you know. the engines get changed. I believe the actual engine numbers are the same as what's in the logbook, so hopefully, you know, it might be okay. These are a few bits I painted up, ready to go on. You know, the old pump cover, stuff like that. So we get back to the bike. Now, the problem I had, is when the guy took this apart. Alright, now the swinging arm pivot down here in the frame, they should have some spacers in there. They call them clearance washers, and you have to take this out to actually remove the engine. So I got this with the engine already taken out, and the clearance washers were missing, and my manual doesn't really show it. I've been online and you can see there should be two little clearance washers. To me they look like a nylon. I'm not sure if they are or not, but I've got them on order as well. So, you know, I'm getting the bearings tomorrow, so I can put the swinging arm back in, knock the bearings in, and I'm going to make the new sleeves for it to run on. And you know, I should better. What I want to do is try and get the wheels back on it, so I can sort of move it around in my garage because it's stuck on these axle stands. If I can get it moving around the garage, and I've also got like a lift I can put it on. You see, it's under the paddock stand. I've got a lift there I can put it on, so I can get it sort of a bit higher, and I haven't got to keep grovelling about on the floor because I'm a bit old for that. But you know. Beautiful little frames on these bikes. They're like a proper little Grand Prix bike. You know, really nice stuff on there. You know, look at the size of that front disc. You know, this is the 125. You know, and who painted the wheels that colour? I'll never know. The bodywork is like horrendous. It's been sort of painted, well, not fantastically. It was a good idea, but you know, it doesn't look good, so that's going to have to be looked at. I mean, I've seen some of them full sets coming from China. They look really nice, and I've had good reports about them, so I might look into just getting a complete set of bodywork rather than sort of trying to paint this and repair this, because you know, there's a lot of damage to it, you know. Here we go to the switch gear. We've got 25,000 miles on the clock. You know, actual don't look too bad. I don't know whether I can get that blue anodizing off. I might be able to. This switch over here, something wrong with this because it all revolves. I don't know if there's a peg in there or not, but it all works, but the choke is not working. So whether the choke's, you know, something in there is broken, I can have a look at. But got a new battery in it. I've got the water tank in there. I couldn't work out. I mean, you know, like when someone else takes the bike apart, you don't know how things went back together. And I've just got pictures to look at. The coil there, I couldn't work out how that fitted in there. You know, I need pictures. Sort of roughly, I think I've got it somewhere right. There was a little bracket. And I've made my own sleeves up and tried to get it sort of best I can. You know, the power valve, the actual solenoid in there, I cleaned all up. It was absolutely full of gunk. I don't know if it was working or not, you know. It's all rubber mounted, both sides. I'm trying to put new screws in if I can. I believe it needs a new spark plug cap. I'm not sure. I've actually got it sparking now and turning over because I had a hell of a job. We've got the relay was clicking, but I couldn't get any power to the starter motor. And then I realised I was missing a wire, and I've had one made up, and now we've got it actually turning over. She lights up. What's it really? Cold? It is cold out here actually. But you know, I've got the indicators working, apart from one on the back. I think I've got the hooter working. Got the lights. I think I've got full beam. Yeah, lights coming on. I've got the side stand working now. I mean, that was a bit of a mission because someone had tried to fit an alarm on the bike, which, you know, one of them efforts where the wires are just taped up and not, you know, done properly. So I've ripped all that off, and I followed the wires through what were sort of missing, and it goes down to this plug here, and I've just soldered them up roughly, and now I've got, when the side stands down, I've got orange light on the dashboard, and you know, I think the old level warning light works as well, so I think that's where that goes down to. So at the moment we've got that, you know, most of the electric sources. I think when you go to the back, the green wire is for the indicators, so I think that's why the right hand one's not working. I'm going to have a, maybe that wire follows down, because this, I mean, really, these wires here, that's for the front indicators, and they're a bit longer, but it's not going to reach the back, so I don't know what I'm going to have to cut into them or something. I'm going to have to look at the wiring diagram again. But, you know, all these really should have plugs on them. I mean, the indicators have been sort of just cut off, and, you know, you have plugs on things so you can take them apart. So when you take the bearings off, you can take the indicators off and stuff like that. You simply unplug them and then plug them back in again. But these have all been cut off, you know. But, you know, the clocks and things are quite nice. Let's see if I hit the button, will it turn over? There you go. So the start motor's good, it's all working well. Go around to the other side. Here's the rectifier. That's got a few lumps out of it, as most of these little bites have got. I might get another one of them. It's funny because the spares on these are like so expensive. I mean, that manifold or the inlet intake that I've got to buy is £110, you know, if I can get one. But even if I buy second-hand parts, okay. I mean, I've picked up a few bits, but I can get one of these probably quite cheap. Second-hand parts are not too bad, and I don't know if you can see that footrest hanger there has been bent in, and there's quite a bit of damage on that. So, you know, this bike's had quite an interesting life. If you look, where are we? Let's go down to the foot hanger. Now you can see behind that foot hanger, all along here, it's all gouged away, and it's bent down and it's bent a long way in. But I'm gonna see if I can warm that up and see if I can pull that out. I'll probably put it on a plate in a vise and see if I can actually move that over, and then I'll polish all the way along this edge. So sand it down and polish it. The frame is not too bad, you know. Can I show you what's on there? You know, it's got a few little digs in them now, but let's just focus that in. But I'm sure I can sort them out. There's the oil pump, which I've got a nice cap for that. See what I'm saying about the paint's kind of come off the top here, where I've been putting it in. You know, I can just touch that in. You don't really see anything. There's a starter motor. Now, going on this cable here, me being a bit daft, this cable wasn't on the bike, so I sort of was I couldn't work out why I couldn't get this thing to turn over. And all I had was a shorter wire that went down to the starter motor. Now, I was reading up in a book last night that this relay has to have one straight from the battery into it and one out in starter motor. And it makes perfect sense, but, you know, at the time I was thinking, well, you know, why didn't it go in, you know? And then I kept reading the manual over and over again, and I found out, you know, that I was being stupid and not realising you have to have a power lead which goes straight from the battery and on to, you see that red wire there? So this one, that goes down to the relay for the starter, and this one is the positive for the rest of the bike. So, you know, we've got the fuse in there, the fuses. I've cleaned all these up. I mean, every plug on here was like green, you know, like that green. it just corrodes, doesn't it? And all this, you know, but apparently it was running until it seized up. So, you know, hopefully things are going to be alright. I mean, I've got another little problem here. Is that this, can you see on top of here, this is the oil warning or the low oil warning light. You can see that there. They're almost touching each other, they're frayed. Whether I can get another one of these maybe, or another tank. That only plugs into a little plug down there, so maybe, I've not seen any on eBay, I've been having a look. The other thing we've got is, this has got a few tweaks in it, that's what holds the tank on. You know, we've got the bar ends that are pretty, you know, that I can do anything with them, that's nothing really. I've got to find a clip for the other side. I did have it that holds all this lot in, so all these wires, they go inside the frame and they're clipped in, so you know, so it's nice and neat like that, so you know you don't see all them wires and it keeps it nice and tidy. On this side they go behind where all the coil and everything is. See, so they go behind the coil, and you've got your clutch cable coming down, you've got the two throttle ones, you know, two throttle ones, so it's quite, you know, it all tucks in behind there, so you've got quite a bit of space really. Yeah, it's quite a neat little setup. So, if I can get, let's zoom out again, you know, if I can paint that up, you know, the Aprillia bit, take that off and give it a good, you know, bee blasting or something like that. Whether I'll get them re-anodised, is it worth it? I don't know. I've got an issue with the front brake. My boy put a new lever on, but for some reason it's decided it's gone right out. I don't know what's on there to stop it. I mean, it's still working, but it goes right back too far. So I don't know what's up with that. I'll turn this off now. But yeah, there's a lot of work, a lot more work to do. Thinking maybe painting the wheels black. Not sure yet what we're going to do with them. Oops, but I mean it's a nice, the frame is beautiful, you know. They're work of art, these little bikes. And hopefully, you know, it'll run alright. I've got a nice expansion chamber to go on it. That needs painting. Apparently the carb's already been jetted up, so we should be okay for that. So, you know, there's not a lot more really I can do at the moment. It's all kind of there or thereabouts. Oh, I nearly dropped the camera then. Yeah, so it's all thereabouts. If I can get the wheels on, that's the biggest thing. Get the wheels back on it so I can move it around, and then I've got a bit more time. Because I'm still trying to do my RC. I've got my truck sort of, I'm waiting for the igniters for the engine. I'm waiting for some parts for the gearbox. You know, stuff like that. So I can't really do a lot. The igniter should be coming from Lucas from Engine DIY, but he's not got back to me yet. I'll take, you know, I mailed him a few times, but I can't get anything back. But I'm really itching to get on with that. But I just want to get this, you know, with the swinging arm and the wheels back on, so I can move it around and I can do a little bit. It's going to be a lot of winter project, but I just want to get it back into some sort of basic, you know, get the engine out of the way and the nuts and bolts, so I know what's, you know, I mean, I didn't know, I've got no idea what goes where. I've got a manual and it's not very good. It doesn't tell you the length of the bolts, you know. It's so kind of it. I'm sort of like going on my own sort of like thoughts of what should go here and there, you know. And it's most of it's common sense, really, I would imagine. But you know, I'm looking forward to. It'd be nice to start it up, and I might do a will it run video like everyone else does. You don't know. You could be the first to see it when I press that button. Is she going to go? I'm sure if I've got a spark and I've got petrol, it should do. I can't see why it shouldn't do, but I might take it up and have it dynoed or something like that to make sure the jets are right and everything like that. And you know, but the rest of it, I think once I get all this swinging arm, all the bearings done, the sleeves made, all back together again, you know, I think it's going to be quite a good condition. And if I get some of the bodywork from China, it's like beautiful stuff, you know, and the tank's only got like a cover on it, so you know it's basically a normal tank, and it has like a plastic cover on it. So you know, but the tank looks okay anyway. I think I've got to sort something out with the tap. I believe the tap's got to have a vacuum on it, and I think it's missing off of it, so that could be another thing. Wheel bearings maybe. I've taken the back wheel off. You know, I mean. The good thing, it's got 2 brand new tyres on it, you know, that came with it, so maybe it weren't such a bad buy, but yeah, the money's building up and up and up what you're spending on it, because you think, I'll just buy this and I'll just buy that, and it all kind of adds up, you know, but I couldn't leave it, you know, with like sleeves, you know, like this, stuff like this, you know, you can't do anything with that. I've got to remake new ones, you know. It'll save me a little bit of money making them, maybe. You know, it's funny really, because someone must have used this bike in all weathers, you know. I mean, normally these little bikes are sort of kept in a garage, dry and warm when they go out on a sunny day, but obviously this one's been well used over the years, but hopefully I can save it, and we can turn it around and make it into some nice little race rep, something like that. But anyway guys, I'm going to go now. Maybe I'll have another truck video coming up. I might do another one of this when I get all the swinging arm in and stuff like that. Sorry about my videos a bit sort of upside down, but I've never done one where actually walking around, and I'm not very good at it, but hopefully I'll get better. But I'm not going to do another one. It's me, that's what I do, and I'll see you in the next one guys.